Okay. Amy, you should be able to share.
All right. Thank you. All right, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first thing, NEI classes. This is just kind of what I'm brainstorming. Our 3 dates for the year were supposed to be September 24th, November 19th, and February 25th. And then we had March 18th as a weather inclement date because we've had bad weather the last 2 years. I'm really feeling like September 24th is coming up wicked fast, and I just don't know how I can ask the instructors of those to prepare something as well as the brand new teachers. So I'm considering, and I'd love to hear any feedback about just knocking that September 24th one off, starting November 19th and then following. So we would have 2 classes each night. I'm thinking from 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 because we don't have to worry about travel. So we don't have the early school, late school issue. And then I do still want to commit to having those because that's the BTAP for so many of our first year teachers. And if I don't offer those, they're going to have to find some other way to earn that BTAP, like doing an online course or anything. So just specifically around NEI classes, any questions or comments about this as an idea? I see a thumbs up from Debbie. Oh, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. All right, cool. So I will kind of move forward with that. I'm going to reach out next week to possible instructors. So you guys will get an email if you're interested in leading anything, and then I'll send out to the new teachers. All right, I sent out the sort of back to school with instructional coaches stuff. So if you've not had an opportunity to go there, it's just the list down the side of kind of the things that you do for or with me. The most important being if you would just update your new teacher mentor list, because this is what we use for the state. So if you would just do that and then turn your tab purple so I can tell you've updated it, that would be awesome. Is that okay with everyone? I know I sent out the wrong link the first time, so sorry about that. What do you think of my virtual background? Pretty fancy, huh? Yeah, all right, not very good. All right, video coaching and coaching cycles hold on one second. My dogs are being obnoxious. No. All right, video coaching. So to me, as far as coaching cycles go, I think we should probably hold off for first quarter. Unless you have a teacher who you're just working with a lot already, then you might as well call that their coaching cycle. But I think we can probably use the same video reflection protocols that we use. So feel comfortable with that. If you want to do it with a live and you're planning and coaching and whatever, I'm absolutely fine with keeping that pretty loose. And basically, I'm just wondering what questions you have about the coaching cycles or the video coaching.
I have one. I was supposed to do a coaching cycle with a year 3 teacher last spring, and we didn't have it. So we planned to do it this fall. But now that we're virtual, can I push that off even farther?
I'm comfortable with that. I mean, if you're working with CLTs and you're really in there developing stuff, I'm comfortable too with calling that coaching. I just don't feel like we can add another layer to so many teachers that are in survival mode right now. So if you do something and you're like, you know, this is pretty good coaching, I'd put it on that new teacher sheet and count it as such. Otherwise, we'll just kind of catch up as we can.
I was going to say, Amy, that coaching definition is what we've defined coaching to be. Like the state doesn't say it's 6 weeks or anything. So if you're just working with the teacher, even if it's not while they're live with kids, that could count.
Absolutely.
As coaching, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And we just really do that initially to kind of drum up business for you guys to get to know new teachers. So the work that I'm sure you're doing with them is plenty of business, I'm thinking. All right, any other questions about the coaching cycle expectations?
I have another one.
Okay.
I think this is common sense, but I was thinking about, oh, it's year 4. I usually talk to them about peer coaching, but we're not doing it right now. So
Yep, right
just
there. Look
push
at you.
off.
You're on it. Yep. I'm going to say let's hold off entirely on worrying about peer coaching until second semester and reevaluate. Are we in person second semester? Yay, we can do normal stuff. Most of them blow it off anyway, so it's not something that I'm going to worry too much about. You know, we're trying to change how we do it. Brittany at Oak Brook, they tried a thing a little bit different last year with just having teachers go visit each other instead of, and then thinking like, what can I take back? No, it wasn't. Who's at Oak Brook? I always say the wrong name, don't I?
I'm at Oak Brook.
Bridget.
Here at Oak Brook. There it is, Bridget.
I mean, I had great feedback, honestly, from that. My teachers were like, we loved that we could go and grab tips and come back and use it right away. They loved it.
Right. So it was basically flipping the model on its. Instead of going in and offering suggestions to the person, you go in and you think, what can I steal? Or what are the good ideas that I might take back? So it was a lot more comfortable for teachers to do that. It seemed to work pretty well. We had planned to roll it out district-wide this fall. Obviously, we're not going to do that right now. So depending where we are second semester, I'm not, again, the peer coaching is something that we just made up as a district, so I'm not real worried about that being a state requirement or anything.
Amy, in the chat, someone was asking, do they need to put peer coaching on their PLP for now and just see how it goes, or should they change it to like a individual goal, or what should we do about PLPs?
Just put peer coaching, and then if they don't have to do anything, they don't have to do anything. Because nobody ever checks it. And I'll make sure I communicate that to principals that I told them that. All right, where was I back up here? Oh, did everyone see the new growth measure expectations for this year? It's just basically use something that you're already doing, and that is a pre-test and a post-test. Elementary, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, you guys have enough pre-tests and post-tests and data collection that they can choose whatever they want, or their CLT as a team can choose whatever they want. They just have to tell the evaluator in the initial meeting, this is what we're going to be using. And then the real hope is that at the summative or at the end of the year conversation, it was, what did you do with the information you learned? How did it impact the instruction, or how did it impact what you did differently? So that's just, we're trying to get more to the intent of what SLOs or growth measures were supposed to be, instead of being this district thing. Any questions or anything about that? All right, I'm going to skip 4 and then come back so we can talk about that all together. Late hires, I just can't in good conscience make them go watch 6 hours of NEO. It's not interesting enough. And they are working with you and coordinators already. And if they were hired after NEO, they're probably panicked anyway. So what I think I'm going to do is just ask them to just attend only day 1 next year, which is the mission, vision, big overview kind of stuff. So you can tell your very, very late hires, don't worry about that for right now. The super handy Chromebook tips has gotten really good reviews. I'm very excited. It's like 15 pages long now. I'm trying to kind of keep it organized. Please keep sharing that, because I think having a single place to go is beneficial when teachers are starting to have to troubleshoot kind of in the moment or in between classes. And even at the very beginning of this, I heard some great tips that I'm going to add. So please, if you're doing things, will you just CC me? If you're sharing it with other coaches or with Francesca or Susan and Jen, and just let me know so I can add it to that. Okay, CLTs. So CLT, the language is for CLT time is on the PD calendar, which don't look at the PD calendar yet, because I think there's a mistake or 2 on it that I'm working with Pat on. But right here, this is the language from Kevin, and I'll paste it in the other doc, about how we're supposed to be using doing CLT time. So I know there's been some confusion in some buildings about CLTs are gone or whatever. It's just for elementary, just like it's always been. You carve some CLT time out of your plan time. I don't know. Oh, questions about that? Yes, Debbie. Would you happen to know anyone that's confused about that?
I do. Well, I do, Amy. And so I'm not sure how we go about. That was in a staff meeting that was broadcast by one of our board members to our whole staff, that we don't have CLTs anymore as a district, that she said that's an NEA thing. So I don't know how we go about correcting that to our whole staff.
Jamie and Kevin are on that.
Okay.
So know that they're aware and they're working on it.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. I honestly can't figure out what to do for CLT leader development meeting. It's a great time. I think, I enjoy being with you. I think we grow and learn a lot. And I know that a lot of you use that back. I don't know if you're having opportunities for development time with teachers right now, but I don't even know what to do it on, like, virtual PLCs. Well, it's pretty much the same as in-person PLC. There's not too much that I feel like is worthy of adding another meeting to people's plates once a month right now. But if we see a need, or if you guys totally disagree with me, I'm not opposed to doing something. So I'd like to just hear maybe what you guys are thinking around that, or what you're making sure we don't want to do.
Amy, we just talked about this today. We're going to meet with our CLT leaders October 5th. I mean, we met with them early August, and just talking about how to move forward, and knowing that we had a coach meeting today and that you were going to pop in. I mean, quite frankly, I can't imagine adding anything to anyone's plate right now, number one. But we're going to, before this even came, like even at the end of last year, our theme or plan this year with our CLT leaders was to kind of back up a little bit and just talk about and study just leadership and team building and that kind of stuff, which sounds super fluffy, but we're just trying to build some capacity in leaders. And we talked today about even like, because our leaders are having a hard time leading also. And so just even I don't want to do like happy, fun team building. I think of Susan when I think about this. No, like kumbaya singing stuff. I mean, like not that, but just even having some time to just come together and talk as a group of leaders about how we're overcoming some of the barriers to positivity. I mean, and I know we're only a week in, but it's just some sort of, I don't know. I don't know that we need that from you. I'm not saying that needs to be but that's kind of where we are. I mean, nobody's ready to dig deep into anything right now. Right. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to that. But.
No, not at all. In fact, I just put a link in there of virtual team builders that I had put together for principals at the beginning of the year. So, I tried to do the least painful ones. Would I be willing to do it? There's no singing, there's no throwing anything, there's no moving in rhythm. So it still follows all of those things. But there are some ideas that at least might get you started.
And even like I'm even thinking our CLT leaders might need some help as like social committee. Like, what are we doing fun for our team this week or something? I don't know. I mean, literally just something to jazz it up, because what my administrative team believes, and I do too, and I think it's incredibly important, is even though this year is so weird and so different, we can't throw in the towel. I believe that CLT work is still important. I feel like we need to identify those priorities, and we have to get super clear about them. And our instruction, more so than ever, needs to really be thought through in a collaborative way. So I don't want to throw in the towel, yet at the same time, I don't want to just make up deep, oh, are we being recorded? Deep stuff to learn more about. I don't know.
Right.
I just don't think the timing's right. But I do think I think we need to proceed with some sort of structure of CLTs.
Debbie?
One thing that we're a little bit struggling with teams, when you talk about teams, is because right now teachers have choice to be in the building or out of the building. So what we're finding with our teams, and so I don't know if you can, help us a little bit with this piece, is that we've got some teams here, our teams feel disjointed. When we were all in the spring, all virtual, it was different because everybody was in the same boat. And so they were all meeting virtually. What's happening now is we have like parts of teams here and parts of teams there. And so teams are feeling a bit disjointed. So I don't know if you have ideas for that piece for us.
Okay. Yeah, just a reminder too that that we had some teachers that went out to lunch together and one of them ended up testing for COVID. And so if your teachers are in the building, make sure they're not driving in cars together without masks. Just a good reminder, because I think you start to let your guard down kind of when you're just around each other a lot. But we still need to be doing that.
That's a good reminder for public PR purposes too. I mean, probably a bad idea.
Lunch doesn't look good.
Exactly. I mean, we know it is good, and we know why it's just not a good idea.
Yeah. Other thoughts? I can only see about half of you. So if anyone else. Mandy's just totally left me, so she's done. All right, those were kind of the things I brainstormed updating you about. Are there other topics that I didn't address that you need some or have some questions around?
Any clarification? Someone emailed me, I can't think of, maybe it was, I don't know who it was, but about new teacher meetings. Do they need to have a set number of them? Are we okay with just having meetings that make sense for the teachers that they have in their building? I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, my guess is you guys are just supporting new teachers probably a lot one-on-one, right? So, I mean, if it makes sense to pull them together, particularly if we're going to start problem solving around what is parent-teacher conferences going to look like virtually, doing that kind of stuff. If that development makes sense to have meetings with new teachers, I think that's the most appropriate thing. But I just can't see meeting for the sake of meeting.
And Amy, this might be on that document, and I have it bookmarked. I just can't seem to find it right now. So for the rest of, not new teachers, but the 3 and 3, teachers who are going to need that credit, like for this year, I know in the spring that kind of got wrapped up. I'm just wondering about that.
So we gave every teacher a 1.5, and in the email I said 2, and I screwed up. So it was 1.5 credits. I'm going to give every educator another 1 credit this fall for first quarter. And if we go virtual second quarter, I'll add more to that. But they should be okay because they'll still get a credit.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
So just to clarify, is it okay then if we are not having CLT leader meetings right now?
Yes, it is okay to not have CLT leader meetings right now, unless your principal is expecting that. And then if they are, let's talk individually about what you would like to focus on and if there's anything I can do to support you.